Good morning, we're back in the garage working on the abandoned 56 Tri Five Chevy, and we're finally going to finish some of the brake stuff that we've been fighting with over the last couple weeks. And when we're done with that, we're going to tear apart the original single pot master cylinder and see if it's worth rebuilding or if we're going to need to bore it out and maybe brass sleeve it. We'll find out, but I've only got 4 hours to get everything done. It's going to be a lot, so better get to it. So the last time we worked on these brakes, we left off with me losing this nut. I was cleaning it up on the wire wheel and the drill press, and the wheel snagged it and shot it right out of my fingers and out the door. I only had this door open about a foot, and it shot it right through the gap. I didn't hear it hit anything, so I was positive that it flew past the concrete pad that's right outside the door and made it all the way into the grass. I drug a magnet around out there for a lot longer than I'd like to admit, and never did get that satisfying feeling of a piece of steel clunking onto a rare earth magnet. I did eventually find it, and not only was it in the last place I looked, it was only 2 inches outside the door. And you know what? I just remembered something. We can't even put all this stuff together yet because we got to rebuild the wheel cylinder. Luckily, this old girl from 1956 has been sitting here for the last few days soaking in some Whiskey Delta. So that should make it a little bit easier on us. Let's see if we can't break these frozen pistons loose. I'm sure you've been following this Tri Five Chevy revival and watching all the videos, so you've seen me rebuild these original wheel cylinders a couple times now, so it's kind of old news. But it's always fun to do. I'm just going to do a couple more. This one's actually really bad. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it. Hoping we can push out the pistons without breaking them. Well, if that don't make me madder than a one-eyed ox. I damaged the piston a little bit with this socket. It's still okay though. But we'll switch over to this one because it fits in here a little bit better. Give her another crack here. Ooh, that sounds good. Well, hot dog, she moved a little bit. That's a good sign. We need to push her all the way to this end so we can pop both these pistons out. And there's a spring and 2 seals in there that come out as well. And then we clean up the inside and put our brand new parts in it. She tightened up on us a bit, so time for the big guns. Speaking of big guns, I love hearing those Army helicopters fly over. Can't get enough of it. That's the sound of freedom. Is that a good snap or a bad snap? Gotta be careful doing that. At this stage, that's like looking down the barrel of a double-barrel shotgun. Any second now she's gonna pop out. The whole party's about to come out. Any second. Any second. There, ooh, almost. Come on now. Come on, sister. Come on. I know you want to come out. Burt Reynolds once said he was too pooped to pop. Maybe this guy is. Or it could explode out of here at any second. Well, that was a lackluster celebration. Just dribbled out. What you just saw was me trying to get the camera in position to show you that the spring was about to pop the seal out, but that's nature. She doesn't wait for you. So that's the other seal, and then beyond that is the piston that we've been pushing on. Need to take this apart and look inside here and decide if we want to. Uh-oh. That's not what we wanted to happen. See how the mighty shall fall. We broke it. We broke 1956. Now we have to wonder if we cracked the other two that we rebuilt. Don't they make a glue for that? Isn't it on the shelf right next to compression in a can? We're in a little situation now. We need to think about this logically. We rebuilt the wheel cylinder on the right rear. We rebuilt the wheel cylinder on the left front. We were just rebuilding the wheel cylinder for the left rear, and we cracked it, making it unusable. And next we were going to do the exact same thing up here on the right front. So the left rear wheel cylinder is no good. The left front and the right rear that we rebuilt needs to be completely taken apart, thoroughly inspected for cracks so that we don't end up eating the rear bumper of an F-150 or eating gravel on a runaway truck ramp. But even if those are good, and we rebuild the right front wheel cylinder and that's good, we're still missing the left rear, which means that we're not running all the original parts, which was our dream. And plus the ones that are good are probably compromised. This is judgment call time. NASCAR. NASCAR. This one looks just like the other ones, which means it'll probably take about the same amount of force to push the pistons out, which means 50-50 whether it would crack or not. Let's get the master cylinder off the firewall, break it down, and see if it's rebuildable or not, or if it needs to be sleeved, or if it's even usable at all. And then we'll be able to make a judgment call on where we go from here. Looks like probably a 7/16 for the line and probably 9/16 for the 4 nuts we got to take off. But let's unscrew the cap while she's bolted in place here. Let's take advantage of that. What do you think? 7/8 probably? I don't like that. I'm going to get a 6-point socket. My caramba! This breaker bar was just about to break. You're gonna like this. Good heavens, what happened to you? There's a very good chance that the torque has never been broke on this hardware since it left the factory in '56. I haven't seen one this bad in a while. hope of reusing this original master cylinder is slipping away like sand through your hand. Well, I guess let's see if we can get this apart. Probably not. That's going to have to soak probably overnight. Not 100% sure what we're going to do until we see if we can get that master cylinder apart or not. Let's hop up to the right front and get the shoe guide plate and the shoe guide off so we can pull the wheel cylinder off. That'll let us get the backing plate off. Okay, that's the shoe guide plate. And then this is the shoe guide here. That's original grease from 1956. I'm saving it. Normally what you do is you push this piston inward and then you just pull this clip out. But since the piston is rusted, locked solid inside the bore, the master cylinder, we can't do that. It won't move. I'm just trying to pry the clip out so we can get a little bit more room to get some juicage soaking down there. In other words, I'm being a little bit impatient. But I think it'll be worth it as long as we can get this clip to come out in a reasonable amount of time. If I stand here for an hour doing this, then it's not worth it. It'd be better just to let the whole thing soak in oil overnight and come back to it. But it's moving. If we do end up rebuilding this, the kits always come with a new clip. Probably not as good of a clip as the original, so I'd rather not destroy it, but you know, it's just the way it is sometimes. This is not going to come apart tonight. Just washed all that oil splatter off my face. So let's let that master cylinder soak in an oil bath until next Friday. And during that time, I'll think about what I'm going to do with the whole master sensei cylinder situation. Yeah, and we'll rendezvous here next Friday.